Tonight, from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
We are just a few miles from the Gulf Coast of Florida at Raymond James Stadium here in Tampa. Just a short time ago, the Buccaneers emerging from their tunnel to the roar of this frenzied crowd here in the Sunshine State. And we're in the big ship, and fittingly, everyone here ready to do battle as Tampa Bay gets ready to match up with the Dallas Cowboys. Here's the punter, Bradley Pinion, on to get us started. And off we go from Tampa. This taken in about 4 yards deep. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. Time for Dak Prescott and the Dallas offense to go to work. Prescott, of course, the former fourth-round pick in 2016 out of Mississippi State.
I love his mobility, and I think he continues to get better and better as a pocket passer. But how about just his plain intangibles that he brings to the position? Mental toughness, as well as a physical presence that helps power any offense.
The throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. He was trying to get it to Ezekiel Elliott, but it'll be second down.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Prescott. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
Oh, that was a pretty route right there, because it's all about finding a window on a route like that. He lined up on his left, ran the deep in route over the middle, and the ball was right where it needed to be. Really good trust between quarterback and receiver. Really good completion.
Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 39. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs.
Well, that was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And too much on that one. It's out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. Amari Cooper, the intended target. And that'll bring up second down.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they run successful.
And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big third down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. And again, it's Prescott. Got a man complete to Cedric Wilson. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. Cowboys trot out Greg Zuerlein. This one from 48 yards away. And this one is going to just tuck into the bottom left corner as he gets it to go. And the Cowboys are going to jump out to a 3-0 lead. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was hoping for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
After the made field goal, Zuerlein back out there now to send this one away. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Tampa Bay coming out along with a man who needs no introduction, the great Tom Brady.
What I enjoyed this week is that you asked to talk to his offensive center before the game and find out a little bit more about him and what the relationship is, and that was a pretty positive story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really what I took away from that is just how it has permeated throughout the entire offensive line, the relationship they've had. It's really a group that's in sync.
They care about him. That's the thing. They really care, and when you care that much, you're going to play that much harder for him and give him a better chance to lead the team that wins.
On the tackle, it's Randy Gregory.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up. Found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
On 2nd and 7, Brady. And that'll be incomplete. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Working from the gun, it's Brady. And this is going to be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
So 4th down, the Bucs trot out Bradley Pinion to punt it. This is taken at the 18. So a change of possession here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Second drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. They start on the ground with Elliott. And he stopped immediately there. Levante David in on the tackle.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Throwing on second down. Prescott. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12. Now that screen there on second down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize it is broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Elliott. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the first down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot.
I think that we all figured when he caught it that short of the marker that the defense almost relaxed and said, we got this covered. And then all of a sudden, space to run after the catch. And now they're screaming, somebody get him down. Fortunately, they got to him and forced the 4th down.
On is the punter, Brian Anger, to kick this one away. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
Hey, Ted, down 80. Down 80. 54. I got you. Right there. 54. Right there.
On 1st and 10, here's Brady. It's caught by Mike Evans. And all the way to the 25 before he's hit and dropped. Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage.
And they were backed up to start the drive, but not anymore. Now, that's the play call that the offensive coordinator had in his head. You saw the end result. He wanted to go ahead and push the ball downfield, and that's what they did. And they wound up with good yardage there to get things rolling.
Hey, Ted, wait, 20. Watch my board. Here we go, team. Here I come. Here I come. Ready, hit.
There's Ronald Jones, first carry for the USC man. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Hey, we got to get this stop here, Dave. Hey, watch that.
On second down now, Bernard. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
And the Cowboys here on 3rd down, bringing in an extra defensive back. From the gun, it's Brady. Open man is Godwin. It's complete. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Brady finding Godwin there for a Buccaneer first.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
So 2 first downs, and that moves the ball to the 42 now, 1st and 10.
Let's see what you got. 54's Mike. 54's Mike.
Brady now to throw. And a first hookup with his all-pro tight end, Rob Gronkowski. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 more yards there and another first down.
Well, there it is, partner. Brady to Gronk, their first connection of the game.
You think those two often in sync?
I don't think there's any question about it. And look, we know Gronk has a whole lot of fun, but he's deadly serious about his football, as is Tom Brady. Two great competitors, two fantastic.
And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Big DeMarcus Lawrence getting in there and bringing him to the ground. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result?
Sack.
Quarterback gets hit.
Now that after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23.
Mike 5-4.
Now Bernard.
It's just me and you.
Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down.
54. Mark. 53. Hit. Wait, hit. 54.
Brady going to throw. Oh, he can't get away, and Brady will go down. Off the edge, it's Tyrone Crawford with a sack.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sack.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Here's Bradley Pinion now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And the Cowboys will be backed up to start the drive. They'll have it 1st and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Prescott from the gun. Connects here with a tight end, Jeremy Sprinkle. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Elliott a 1st down and more. And finally taken down at the 44-yard line. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. That's complete to his tight end, Sprinkle. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. A run here with Dak. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting 1 more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's 3rd down.
And the Bucs with an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. Dak going to hand it to Elliott on the option. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Here's Elliott. He'll get the... Oh, Elliott going to be hit. He coughs it up. Loose football. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Obviously, you got to hold on to the football, but I've got to give credit to the defense there. Good job of knocking it free.
Yeah, because a lot of the time we just blame the offensive players for not taking care of it. How about the effort of the defensive players knowing that guys are going to, and if they're good, anticipate the contact coming and try and cover up the football. And they still find ways to knock it free.
Brady and the Bucs now with a 1st and 10 at their own 11. Now after the fumble recovery, it's Brady. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
Brady's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again, Brady. This into the hands of his running back, Ronald Jones. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Brady. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Neville Gallimore in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Here's Bradley Pinion now as he's on to punt for Tampa Bay. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Dallas offense back out onto the field. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. Give them 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. Well, let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains, that means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
On 2nd down, Elliott. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go. Prescott to throw it. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. Give him 18 on that one, and it's a Dallas first down.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. This is Elliott. Good footwork at the 30. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports.
Right there.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. 10th carry now for Elliott. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26. The good run on first down followed up by a not-so-good run on second down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on third down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
The Cowboys on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and it's going to yield a new set of downs.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Elliott. And he'll get about 5 here as he'll take this down inside the 20-yard line.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on third down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. They'll run with Elliott. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Now Elliott. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
But when you go from 2nd and 4 to 3rd and 3, that just tells you who won that battle on the last play, huh?
Yeah, first round went to the offense, second round the defense. The Cowboys on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This time it's 3rd and 3. Here's Prescott. That is caught. It's Cooper for the Cowboy touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown catch. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. And in the red zone, I guess this is why you have a guy like that on your roster.
Without a doubt, and if you have him, you use him because he's a guy who's going to win just about every time. I don't care what the coverage is.
Now Greg Zuerlein on for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So that drive, 12 plays in length, and it culminates in a Dallas touchdown. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. Again, we see Tom Brady and the BUCS set to take over. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. They'll contain him to just 4, 2nd down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
The BUCS on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 4. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. Nice 3rd down conversion and even 20 yards.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
On 1st down, Bernard. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Look, all any running back wants is a little bit of room, a little bit of space in order to maneuver. But he also understands how difficult it is for his offensive line up front. So if they give him any space, he realizes it's his job to make more out of it than what they give him. Picks up 3 on that carry.
Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Those are the plays this defense needs with the deficit they're facing.
It certainly is, and they've got to continue to swarm the football and hope that someone, while they're holding up the ball carrier, can get in there and rake it and lock it free. They need to get some takeaways as well.
The Bucs on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Shotgun now for Brady. And he's got Miller. And he is going to have a Bucs first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. On play action, now Brady. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Another try after the first down sack. Brady, he gets it into the hands of Gronkowski, complete. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Now Brady. He sets up the screen to Jones. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And that was a beautifully executed screen pass. They let the rushers get upfield and get the escorts in front, meaning the offensive linemen, other blockers out in front, completed the pass beautifully. So now you've got all that open space with big guys leading the way.
First time into the red zone for the Buccaneers. They've got a 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Now Brady. This is caught. Gronkowski. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. From the shotgun, a give to Jones. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. So it's been a long drive. They've held the ball for quite a while. Now what do you do here?
Well, to me, at this stage, after this drive, this close to the goal line, 3 points would be a letdown. I'm going for it here.
On 4th down, Ryan Succop now for the Buccaneer field goal. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. Now Pollard. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
On first down, they look downfield, and it's complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Give him 30 yards there.
Running their plays over and over during the week can often get robotic for an offense, but on game day, they can often flow smoothly, as that one just did.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
45.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And that is incomplete here.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Another carry tonight for the workhorse Elliott. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 12 yards there and a first down.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium, because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. So they run the option here on 1st and 10. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Prescott. And this is caught. It's Cooper. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. He's up to 70 yards now in this first half receiving as he's got a first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart, because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of...
And he's going to be dropped back at the 15-yard line. Shaquille Barrett put that sack by his name in the stat sheet.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. A give to Elliott, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've been very good. 5 for 7 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. Forced out to his left, and he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 5 yards that time out of the scramble, but now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
Well, partner, nothing comes open here, so he decides to escape out of there, and he doesn't pick up a 1st down, but he does gain additional yardage to set up a possible field goal attempt if they decide to go that route.
And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. Zerline's kick is up and through. And they will stretch their lead to 10 now at 13-3. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
After the made field goal, Zerline back out there now to send this one away. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
That was tight right there.
Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. They trail by 10, 13-3 as they come up on a 1st and 10.
Wait, that 380. 54. Hey, what's the ball? 54 Mike. 54 Mike.
Working from the gun, it's Brady. Quickly to Gronkowski, that's caught. A gain of 6 there on 1st. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. And now this pass brought in by Brown. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. Throwing on 1st down is Brady. And Jones has it over the middle. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Brady, that's complete to his receiver, Godwin. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. First and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. They'll find Miller. That's complete. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Three receivers head out right, one to the left on 2nd and 3. Brady to throw again. Jones hit and the ball's out. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. There are two words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S, ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what position you play, you've got to take care of the rock.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. The Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down.
45 to Mike. 45 to Mike. It's been a long day for you.
They don't want to repeat a first down. They'll keep it on the ground. And obviously not fooling anybody here as they stop him behind the line of scrimmage. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we toss it an hour or so east of here to Orlando, it's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. It was Ezekiel Elliott who put together a solid first half. His guys lead it by 10 as we send it back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. Gentlemen.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So this a 2-possession ball game as we get back underway, set for the 3rd quarter. Taking it about the 1. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The spotlight now focuses on the quarterback, and that's Tom Brady. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off because they do know that they are trying.
Yeah, well, we've seen the 4 sacks so far in this contest.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win first down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Mike by four.
From the gun, it's Brady. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And it's 3rd down.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Brady. That's complete to his running back, Evans. And he is going to have the Buccaneers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
One of the feature points of the in route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, Brady. Left side here, that's complete to Godwin. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line. Here's Bernard. And this is going to be a Bucs 1st down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
So after 2 1st downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. Operating from the gun, Brady. Over the middle here to Brown. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
They'll run on 1st down. Bernard. And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense, and guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. From the gun, Brady. Evans has it left side. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the 1st half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Still in search of their 1st touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Here's Brady to throw. It's complete. He's got Gronk. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. That'll be a pickup of 10 as they try to recover from this 10-point deficit.
Now what we're seeing, this is much better from this offense because so far in this game, no touchdowns to this point. And what's usually a direct correlation? Very few explosive plays. That's been their issue, not able to make that big shot downfield or break one off, but a nice game there for a 1st down.
On 1st and 10, here's Brady. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
To throw again on 2nd down. Brady. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2.
Yeah, let's get a sack lunch.
Now a carry for Bernard. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll run it here with Bernard. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. And they give this time to the tailback. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
Well, sometimes I get caught in hyperbole, but I think they desperately need to punch this one in. They're running out of time.
Yeah, 2-score game, 2nd half. You're down here. This is the time to put it in the end zone.
Yeah, not going to get much better than this for an opportunity.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. Terrell Basham gets in there to drop him for a loss of 13 yards, and it's also 4th down now.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt. Succop's kick is good. And they will cut the lead back down to a touchdown now at 13-6. So a decent drive there to start the 3rd quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they inch a bit closer.
Yeah, but still lots of time to go in this one. That's why you hear that clapping on the sidelines, right? Hey, got some points. As you said, inching their way back in. Time left to go out and get that victory.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. Now Pollard. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the 2nd half. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 23. He'll hand it off to Elliott to begin the drive. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Prescott from the gun. Got his man there, complete to Gallup. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 15 yards on the play, 1st down.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
First down throw for Prescott. That's complete to his tight end, Sprinkle. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
On 2nd down, it's Elliott. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
On 3rd down, Elliott. And Elliott trying to work his way forward, but it looks like he did not make it. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
So the kick from here on a field goal would have been right at 53 yards, but instead, offense out there. They're going for it. They'll run it with Elliott. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Elliott. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
But really, that was no surprise there. They've been running it well all game, and I know goals change all the time, but any team will take that type of run each and every time.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Here's Pollard. And a nice run. They're going to take this close to the 1st down marker at the Bucs' 15-yard line. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
On 3rd and 1, here's Prescott. And it's caught. And the Cowboys are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as they find a way to convert there on 3rd and 1. 14 yards through the air. Caught the D off guard on 3rd and 1.
That was simply snap, rock, and fire. I mean, they didn't take long at all. Slant route, and I loved where he put it. He put on the body of the receiver low so that only he can catch it.
Yeah, I don't think there was any magical formula there. Defensively, that's just tough to defend.
Very much so. And that way it allows the receiver to keep his body in front of the defender and not allow him to go through him to knock the ball away.
Check. Right 54.
They'll try to run it in with Elliott. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
They're right there at the 1. No gain, but don't let that stop you. Line back up and keep going at them. If I'm them, I'm thinking about going at it 4 straight times.
On 2nd and goal, Prescott. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Well, if you're going to turn things around in a game like this, Charles, those are the kind of plays that you need.
And I just love the way that defense rallied to the football on that one. They got the completion, but he was smothered behind the line of scrimmage. And when you make tackles like that, your whole defense is going to be fired up. Really nice play getting to the ball.
This Tampa Bay defense, they held strong on the first 2 plays. Now 3rd and goal. Here's Elliott. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. Only a yard there, so it brings up 4th and goal. It's kind of an interesting decision. 1-score game, 3rd quarter. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm willing to go out on the limb on this one and go for it. And here's why. If I set it up right now and go get the touchdown, I'm in firm control of this ball game, and my team has a ton of confidence. If I don't get it, hey, I rely on my defense. And if somehow they go downfield on me and score, so be it. I want to be in control and in firm control right now.
So now the field goal unit trots out there for the 3rd time tonight. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And Zerline's kick is good. And that one makes this a 10-point game at 16-6. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
After the made field goal, Zerline back out there now to send this one away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. The 2nd and 10 now as we roll along in the 3rd quarter from Tampa. Throwing again. Brady. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Brady going to throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
He's going to launch this thing way downfield, and that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
Well, you got to think that sooner or later, they're going to hit one of those, but the coverage has been excellent thus far, and it was again on the last play.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Again, it's Brady. And a catch right side by Evans. And he is going to have a BUCS first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Brady to Evans that time. First down, Tampa.
All right, let's just go ahead and walk through this one pretty easily, right? Blast off the line of scrimmage, get downfield to a certain point, usually around 8 to 10 yards, turn around and make sure the quarterback sees your numbers and set yourself up for the pass.
A well-executed curl route by Charles Davis. A couple of first downs on the drive already as they'll go from the 47 now on first down. Now Bernard. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49. So it's a quarter that saw these two teams trade field goals here as we've reached the end of 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Shotgun now for Brady. This into the hands of his running back, Ronald Jones. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Operating from the gun, Brady. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40, and a big return will get him all the way down to the 35.
Well, you're trailing. It's the 4th quarter, and you've got to throw the football. But the defense knows this, too. So they're just going to sit back, bring in an extra defensive back or two, the old nickel or dime strategy, Brandon, and wait for you to put that bad boy up for grabs. And this one winds up being intercepted.
Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. They have to like the position that they are in. 4th quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Elliott, toss right. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. Coming in to put a lick on him was Levante David. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and to big yardage all night long.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. They go to Elliott again. It's a 7-yard pickup. They'll be looking now to 3rd and 6.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is 3rd down. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. And that is incomplete. And this is too far behind his man. He missed him. It's incomplete. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash, this from 48. Zerline's kick is up and through. And that will stretch the lead up to 13. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
After the made field goal, Zerline back out there now to send this one away. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The Bucs ready to take over once again. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Brady. Quick hitter here. It's complete. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. The start for them near flawless. Defense gets them a 3 and out. 2 quick pass connections on offense.
So that's how a team works together. Just what you described. Get them the ball, give them a little momentum, and they're capitalizing off of that. Thanks a lot, guys.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. To throw is Brady. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. 4th quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You've got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Brady looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 46. Again, they'll throw with Brady. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
Brady's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again, Brady. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
Normally being a big-bodied receiver plays to their advantage downfield. Go up and make the catch, take the hit, and pick up yardage. But in this case, the hit was timed really well and popped it free from his grasp.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now Brady again. He's got Evans. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. 17 yards on the play and a Buccaneer first down. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Wait 10, wait 20. I'm here all day. I'm here all day. 155.
Brady now on first down. He's going to drop this one down to Bernard. And down inside the 15 he goes. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Push him back. Push him back.
Into the red zone, it's Brady. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
What a job by this defense all game long. They've come together and really said, no one's crossing our goal line, and they're definitely not going to start right now.
You can just see the dejection. Feel like nothing is working offensively. Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Brady. And he's got it. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. From 13 yards out. And the Bucs have made this a 1-score game. CD, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. And the lead will shrink to 6. A 10-play drive that time. And it's all finished off with a touchdown by Tampa Bay. Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. Now Pollard. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. There we go, baby. There we go.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. Now Prescott. He's going to find Gallup here complete. Not much there, only a yard.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. He'll find Lamb. That's complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he's going to be stopped short of a first down as they'll get to him at about the 33. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a fourth down. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Dallas. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Their defense accomplished step one of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a fourth quarter lead. A few better down a score in the fourth quarter than Tom Brady. This is 1st and 10. And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle.
I can't believe they even let you play.
Another try after the first down sack. Brady. That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And on 3rd down, the Cowboys bring in an extra defensive back. From the gun, it's Brady. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he is going to have a Bucs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a first down. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
A few better down a score in the fourth quarter than Tom Brady. This is 1st and 10. Oh, he can't get away, and Brady will go down. Tyrone Crawford, his 2nd sack of the night.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Another try after the first down sack. Brady, a quick pass here to Godwin. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line.
That's a good bounce back play right there after taking a sack on first down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a 3rd and short yardage call. If you're the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out 3rd and long.
On 3rd down, Bernard. He is going nowhere as he is enveloped behind the line. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the first down, close it out.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll go for it. It's Brady. It's caught. Jones. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it. But in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. From midfield, here's Brady. He sets up the screen to Jones. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
Brandon, how about that reaction there from a defensive end? Able to recognize the screen pass trying to happen, broke off his pass rush, and then get back to tackle the running back. That's a very athletic and intelligent play. Reminds me of you working out and seeing that the treadmill's open and getting there before anyone else.
See, I know you're just patronizing me right now. Everybody knows at home that that is nothing but a shot at me, and I'll take it, absorb it, and we'll move on. To throw again on 2nd down, Brady. The tight end, Cameron Brate, was the target, and it'll bring up 3rd down. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play, and who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
On 3rd and long, it's Brady. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. DeMarcus Lawrence able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Here's Bradley Pinion now. He's been terrific so far. "51 yards on the punt there. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. The Cowboys about set to take over on offense. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a 1-score game, and you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets 1st downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those 1st downs, keep possession of the football.
Still 9 remaining on 2nd down. Prescott from the gun. Looking middle, and that's complete. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3, this is where the ball goes anymore.
Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Dallas. On the return is Mickens. A nice punt, but a good run back as well of 13 yards. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. So here's Brady and the Bucs. Down by 6, 2:01 remaining. They'll have one play here just north of the 2-minute warning.
Wait, that. Run 80. Run 80. Record. 55.
On first down, Brady. And he finds Gronk. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. We've got a one-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now Brady. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down.
Well, they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Clock running, about to hit 90 seconds to go in the game. Brady to throw. Open man, Gronkowski complete. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Well, they got the yardage they needed there, picked up the first down, got out of bounds. How about the urgency that they have, as well as the understanding where they are on the field?
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. Second down. Counting down toward a minute to go in this football game. Now Brady. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Back to throw. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he is in as they have tied it late here in the final minute of the 4th quarter. Now they can boot it through on the always important extra point, and then their defense has to hold up their end of the bargain.
And there's something that you've pointed out in numerous games that we've worked. Okay, the excitement's going on. Everyone's celebrating over there. Who's calling up the defense to make sure they're focused, because they still have some work to do?
Extra point try now for Succop. And with that, his guys take the lead here by a point. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it's capped off by the touchdown and the ever-critical extra point. So it is a 1-point lead here in the final minute of action. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. So out come the Cowboys now as their offense gets set to take over. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you've got a decision. Are you in field goal range or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They'll look to throw. That's complete to his tight end, Sprinkle. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. He's back to throw. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. Here's Prescott. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Elliott. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. The Cowboys signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. Cowboys trot out Greg Zuerlein. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Cowboys trot out Greg Zuerlein. This to almost certainly win the football game. And his kick is indeed good. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. And I tell you, when it comes to needing a field goal in closing seconds, pressure situation, there's something to be said for having a veteran kicker trot out there.
Agreed. It's so nice to have someone you can rely on, someone who you know has done it before. And this guy's as cool as they come, isn't he?
After the made field goal, Zuerlein back out there now to send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. You're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we bid you good night from Tampa.